EconTalks.
Hello and welcome to EconTalks, your go-to podcast for making economic concepts easy to understand. I'm your host Sonam, and today we are exploring international trade theory, a topic that explains why countries trade, what they trade, and how it affects the economies around the world. To help me break it down, I'm joined by my two fantastic guests, Kinzam and Lima.
Thank you, Sonam. We are excited to be here. Thank you, Sonam, for having us here.
Segment 1, Introduction to Trade.
So let's start with the basics. Why do countries trade?
It's simple. Not every country can produce everything efficiently. Trade allows countries to focus on what they do best and import the rest. That's called specialization.
Exactly. Trade helps improve efficiency, increase product variety, and boost the overall wealth. And even if one country is good at everything, it can still benefit by focusing on what it's relatively best at.
This idea of focusing on what you're best at is a foundation of comparative advantage, which we will delve into in a moment.
Segment 2, Classical Theories.
To begin with our discussion, Kinzam, could you explain Adam Smith's idea of absolute advantage?
Of course, Adam Smith in the 18th century argues that the countries should specialize in producing goods that can make more efficiently than others. So, if the England is good at producing clothes and Portugal is good at producing wine, they should trade. That way, they will both benefit.
Makes sense. Lima, what about Ricardo's take on this?
That's where the comparative advantage comes in. David Ricardo said that even if one country is less efficient at producing everything, trade can still be beneficial. Countries should focus on producing what they are relatively good at based on the opportunity cost.
So it's not about being the best at everything, just better at something relative to others?
Exactly.
Segment 3, Neoclassical and Modern Theories.
Let's move forward in history. Kinzam, what came next?
The Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Now, this model suggests that the countries export goods that uses their abundant resources like land, labor, or capital. For instance, a labor-rich country like India might export textile, while the capital-rich countries like Germany will export machineries. According to Heckscher-Ohlin theory, Bhutan exports hydrobor because it has a lot of natural resources, but it imports manufactured goods because it doesn't have any industrial labor.
And what about more recent theories?
That's new trade theory, which adds concepts like economies of scale and productivization. It explains why countries with similar resources, like Japan and South Korea, export cars. Consumers want variety and companies they benefit from the large scale of production. Additionally, new trade theories suggest economies of scale and government support can enhance export. Bhutan hydropower project, which is supported by government investment and bilateral agreement with India, is a clear example. Bhutan should invest in infrastructure and digital connectivity to benefit from increasing return in other sectors.
Interesting. And how does the gravity model fit in?
The gravity model says that the trade flows are larger between the bigger economies and the closer economies. So the US will trade more with the Canada and Mexico than with the distant smaller countries, even though the production costs are similar.
Segment 4, Real-World Relevance.
Let's connect theory to practice. Lima, how does these models help us understand today's global economy?
They are very incredibly useful because whether we are talking about tariffs, trade war, or free trade agreement, these theories help us to explain the reason behind global economic decisions.
Plus, they also explain the modern realities like global supply chains. Your laptop might be assembled in China with parts from Korea and a design team in California. Now, this theory shows how interconnected the production has become.
And they also give us insight into debates about outsourcing, job displacement, and even climate change impacts from global shipping.
Guest segment, Professor joins online.
We have something special for our listeners. To have a more insightful perspective, we have reached out to Professor Anjali, an expert in international trade. Here is a short video message from her.
Hello everyone. International trade theories, both classical and modern, remain highly relevant today. They help us understand how countries benefit from trade, how global supply chains function, and why trade tensions arise. Whether you are a student, policymaker, or entrepreneur, understanding these theories give you a solid foundation for navigating today's international world. In relation to Bhutan's economy, Bhutan's trade has grown since joining the WTO in 2004, with 2023 exports at USD 730 million and imports at USD 1.6 billion, creating a trade deficit. India remains its main trade partner, though some diversification is emerging. Hydropower exports have increased, but COVID-19 exposed the risks of over-dependence, prompting efforts to diversify into agriculture and handicrafts. Thank you for inviting me in your EconTalks.
That was truly insightful. Thank you, Professor Anjali, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Conclusion.
In short, international trade theory helps us understand how countries interact economically and why trade can drive growth and innovation.
Absolutely. Understanding this theory gives us the tool to better analyze the global trend and policies.
It also reminds us that smart trade policies can make a big difference, especially in today's rapidly changing world.
Thank you, Kinsang and Nima, for joining me today. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to EconTalks. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
EconTalks.